So my name is Danielle Folkerts and I'm the artist behind The Traveling Artisan. Since I was young, art has always just been the thing that I've loved. I don't even remember when it started. In school, I was always drawing, coloring, painting. I used to draw like little fashion outfits and homes and everything that I could, so I was really excited to finish high school and go to art school. I'm from Alberta, and there I was teaching all over. I was teaching in schools, I was running my own classes, I was doing private parties, and then I was also doing markets and selling artwork. I had some of my work in Calgary, and it was a really good experience. My partner's in the military, and that's what brought us to Kingston. So before we moved here, I was researching and looking around to see what Kingston offered for different art organizations and different artists. And so then I discovered the TET Center, and basically when I moved here, I got involved with the Kingston Art Council and the TET Center and other places downtown as well, and that kind of hit off being here in Kingston. And then I also met Melissa from the Kingston Collective, and then that was how I kind of got started here in the art scene in Kingston, was helping her run that. So, when I first moved here, I actually got involved with teaching at the TET Center. So I met some of the programmers there, and it was just a really good match, and so I started to run some of their PA Day programs. And after the Kingston Collective closed, they had an opening to be the rentals coordinator, so I got hired on to do that. They have a really great rentals program. They rent to a lot of different artists, so I got to work with different artists there and helping them run their workshops. And then it's kind of went into the position I am in now, which is the marketing and programming coordinator at the TED Center. And it's fantastic because I get to help with their arts programming, and I get to kind of share the message of all the different artists in the building and the organizations in the building. But then I also get to kind of mentor artists on how to instruct their own workshops, and then I instruct my own workshops as well. With my business as Traveling Artisan, I do a lot of teaching, and I do a lot of development for different art classes. So I teach private classes. I will go to the Agnes and teach. I teach at the TET Center. I'll do private home parties, and I teach all ages. I'll do children, teens, adults, seniors. I really love the mixed level classes. Primarily once a month I'm doing watercolor classes. I also do weaving, printmaking, drawing. I'll teach a lot of different things. My favorite is definitely painting, because that's where I have the most experience, and I really just try to give people value and help them on their creative journey. And today we're out doing plein air painting, so I also love just creating opportunities for people to come together and just create together. So I'm always trying to just have fun opportunities for people. Also do large-scale murals. My favorite one that I've ever done was for Lululemon. I was part of their campaign Breathe It All In, and I did this really beautiful mosaic mural on their window, and it took 2 really long days to finish it, but it was still to this day probably my favorite project I've ever done. This week I'm really excited because we're installing and launching a mural that I've been working on for the last year with the City of Kingston. So it's going up in the Vista Center, and it's this just beautiful waterway mosaic of color and energy. One of my biggest inspirations is when I go traveling. I love to go to museums, I love to go to galleries and look at art, but I also love to take photographs. So I'll take photographs of landscapes, of textures in different buildings. I love mosaics, basically any art that I can find in nature or in the city. I also do scuba diving, so when I'm scuba diving I love to take photographs, and again I'm constantly looking for really amazing colors and textures and patterns, and I just am constantly documenting and collecting that data and bringing it back in the studio, and I always just have a lot of different ideas, and I like to use all of that inspiration to create new works of art.